Today, we will explore a profound statement from one of humanity's greatest psychologists, Carl Jung. Jung said that life truly begins at 40. Before that, you are just researching. This raises questions. Why 40? What is special about this age that Jung believed we truly start living? And why were the years before just research? This question might pique your curiosity. And today, we will delve into this philosophy to understand Jung's perspective on life better. Personally, I have also gone through those research phases in life where every decision and experience was a valuable lesson shaping who I am today. But is it true that only at age 40 do we truly understand the essence of life? Let's explore this together in today's podcast episode, Understanding Carl Jung and His Philosophy. Carl Jung, one of the great psychologists of the 20th century, left a deep mark on the field of analytical psychology, with unique concepts like the collective unconscious, archetypes, and individuation. In his philosophy, Jung didn't just study human behavior, but explored deeper factors related to the soul and the spiritual development of each individual. According to Jung, every person carries a part of collective unconscious within them, the shared memories and experiences of humanity that we are not consciously aware of, but which influence our behavior and decisions. Archetypes are images and symbols appearing in our unconscious, such as the mother, the hero, or the shadow, and they can help us understand ourselves better and our inner conflicts. Jung also believed that humans need to individuate, which is a process of holistic growth and development, including accepting and integrating both the light and dark sides within oneself. This process is not just about external achievements, but achieving an inner harmony where each individual can live an authentic life true to their nature. One of the prominent views in Jung's philosophy is the division of life into multiple stages. These stages are not just about changes in age or material circumstances, but a process of spiritual maturation. In the early years, people primarily seek and build external achievements, from education to career, love, and fame. However, around age 40, Jung suggested this is a significant transition point when people begin to turn inward. This is no longer a time when we solely seek recognition from society, but a time to understand ourselves, confront the hidden parts within, and find the true meaning of life. Jung believed that by age 40, we have accumulated enough experience and understanding of the external world, and now is the time to return to ourselves. This is the time we truly begin the process of individuation, where we accept and integrate every part of ourselves, both good and bad. From there, we enter a new stage of life, one where spiritual growth and inner harmony become the main goals. Therefore, according to Jung, life truly begins at 40 because this is when people can genuinely embark on a journey of self-discovery and live a meaningful life, transcending material or social measures of success. The years before 40, a time of research. Carl Jung's view of the period before age 40 as a time of research holds a complex depth, particularly when considering human psychological and spiritual development. Jung did not see this period as merely time passing, but a crucial stage serving as a foundation for each individual to understand themselves and the world around them better. However, Jung believed that we do not truly understand ourselves during this stage. We are only searching and learning. In the early years, especially from 20 to 40, people are often searching for their social role. We may have heard of concepts like building a career, starting a family, or establishing a reputation. These external factors are important foundations for determining our position in society. Jung stated that these years are when people need to build material and social foundations, thereby affirming their role and value in the eyes of others. However, Jung also warned that during this process, we can easily get lost in social expectations and the external standards that society imposes upon us. Careers may be built, relationships may develop, but do we truly understand ourselves throughout this process? Or are we just pursuing the social roles that society expects of us? Indeed, the social roles we perform are not the true essence of each individual. Jung observed that people in this stage focus heavily on gathering external recognition and achievements. Especially in their 20s and 30s, we tend to place high value on external achievements like career advancement, owning assets, or superficial social relationships. These factors seemingly become standards for self-evaluation, making it easy for us to get caught in an endless race focused on external factors. But according to Jung, seeking external recognition and achievement cannot be the ultimate goal. This is only a part of the search process that each individual must go through. In reality, these achievements only help people build an outer self, while the true self remains hidden, undiscovered. Jung also suggested that this period, although it may be a superficial form of searching, is an extremely important stage for learning. Throughout these years, individuals often face challenges, mistakes, and failures. These experiences, even when painful, are valuable lessons that people need to go through to mature spiritually. Mistakes and failures help us become clearer about our limits and the things we do not yet understand about ourselves. This is a part of the self-awareness process. Without these failures, we would not be able to recognize the weaknesses or dark aspects within ourselves that we need to confront and reconcile. Throughout this research period, people often lack a deep self-awareness. Jung pointed out that although we may have rich achievements and experiences in life, we do not truly know ourselves. People often only understand themselves through social roles and external achievements, while self-awareness of the true person within us is neglected. This lack of self-awareness is why Jung suggested that real life truly begins at age 40, because that is when we truly look deep within ourselves, starting the journey of inner harmony and individuation. Jung did not consider the time before 40 wasted, but a necessary stepping stone for spiritual development. These years, although perhaps filled with material and superficial pursuits, are opportunities for us to explore the external world and gather experience. However, when we pass the age of 40, Jung believed we need to make an important transition, moving from external exploration to internal exploration. It is at this point that the process of individuation will occur more strongly, when each person can confront their dark parts and build a more harmonious and authentic life. This stage is no longer just about seeking success or affirming social roles, but finding inner completion, and that is the real life that Jung was talking about. Age 40, the real beginning of life. The stage of age 40, according to Carl Jung, is not just an age marker, but a deep transformation in the journey of human development. This is a time when each individual does not just mature materially, but begins to touch deeper levels of the self. Jung observed that when people reach this age, a new awareness of life begins to form, causing them to turn toward spiritual and inner values instead of solely pursuing external achievements. Before 40, life is like a process of searching and research. We pursue external goals like career, family, and social fame. However, Jung suggested that upon entering this age, people begin to realize that satisfaction from the outside is no longer the ultimate destination. At this point, we are no longer driven by social expectations or material success pressures, but begin to seek inner satisfaction. This shift is described by Jung as an inner revolution, where people stop chasing external standards and turn inward to discover their true values. This change does not come easily, but is often accompanied by feelings of vagueness, midlife crisis, or a sense of being lost. It is a struggle between what we have done throughout life, what society expects of us, and what we truly want to do and be at this age. At age 40, many people begin to experience a midlife crisis, a phenomenon not uncommon across cultures and societies. This is the stage where people realize they are no longer interested or satisfied with what they previously pursued. Material achievements, however grand, do not bring a sense of true fulfillment. Jung described this as a moment when people recognize that true happiness does not come from external success, but from inner harmony. This is when people start asking big questions. Who am I really, and what do I want in this life? The midlife crisis is not a sign of failure, but an opportunity for transformation, like shedding skin. It is an existential challenge where each individual must confront undiscovered aspects of themselves and accept the dark parts of their soul. Jung believed this is the opportunity for people to embark on the journey of individuation, the process of seeking and developing the true self. In Jung's thought, individuation is the process by which one becomes oneself in the most complete way. This is a transition from what society has shaped us into to defining ourselves in a unique and deep way. The age of 40 marks the beginning of this process, as we start breaking free from the social molds and roles that previously defined us, and instead begin to redefine ourselves through deep personal experiences. Jung emphasized that individuation is not an easy process. It requires accepting and confronting the unrecognized parts of oneself. We must learn to love even the weak, imperfect, and dark aspects of ourselves. This touches upon the truth that we are not perfect, and that is the core of the individuation process, harmonizing with oneself. One important concept Jung presented for this stage is the awareness of death. When people reach age 40, they begin to confront the truth that life is finite. Although this can cause fear, it is also an opportunity for liberation. Jung believed that only when people recognize the temporality of everything can they experience true freedom. Freedom from the burdens of social expectations. Freedom to live according to their true nature. This awareness is not pessimism but liberation. When we understand that life is not a race but a process of spiritual growth, we can relax and accept what comes to us, not with forced effort but with openness and integration with our true self. Ultimately, Jung asserted that age 40 is not a marker of an end, but a turning point opening up a real life. At this point, we have gone through years of research, searching, and learning. However, only after crossing the threshold of 40 can we truly reshape ourselves from deep within, not based on external standards, but from our inner nature. That is when we enter a new journey, a journey of living authentically, where spiritual and inner values become the main goals. Jung believed that real life begins when we return to ourselves, and age 40 is when people can truly begin to live a harmonious, authentic, and free life. The process of individuation, a journey of self-discovery. In Carl Jung's philosophy, individuation is not just a simple process of self-development, but a journey of deep discovery and harmony between the opposing elements within a person. Jung believed that to achieve spiritual maturity, each individual needs to confront and reconcile the unrecognized parts, the darkness within their soul. This is a process where we discover ourselves not just through external successes, but through the deep inner parts that we rarely pay attention to. Jung stated that the unconscious plays an extremely important role in personal development. According to him, humans are not just rational and conscious entities, but beings who carry the unconscious, containing memories, emotions, and experiences that have not been fully recognized. Individuation is a harmonization between the unconscious and consciousness, so that people can recognize and understand their hidden dark parts better. This can be understood as the more we mature, the more we become aware of ourselves in the past, or archetypes in the unconscious will surface. We must learn not only to accept, but also to integrate these elements into life, instead of denying or pushing them away. Jung called this a transition from darkness to light, when we begin to understand and live in harmony with ourselves instead of just living according to social norms or expectations. An important part of the individuation process is facing the shadow. Jung used the concept of the shadow to denote the dark and hidden parts within each person that we often do not want to acknowledge, such as fear, ambition, insecurity, or selfishness. The shadow is not something inherently evil, but the parts that society or we ourselves consider unacceptable. However, according to Jung, these parts are part of the self, and our effort to reconcile and accept them is a condition for spiritual development and maturity. Upon entering age 40, many people begin to realize that they cannot continue to avoid or superficially deal with the undeveloped parts within themselves. This is when the process of confronting the shadow begins. This is a time when we must accept our weaknesses, flaws, fears, and unfulfilled ambitions. Accepting these weaknesses is not surrender, but the first step to achieving inner harmony, helping people develop a strong soul and true spiritual maturity. In this stage of life, when we begin to realize that external success no longer brings deep joy, we shift towards seeking the meaning of life. Jung believed that meaning is not something readily available externally, but must be discovered and built from within. This process is not just about achieving personal or career goals, but finding the true reason for our existence. At this time, many people realize that they do not want to continue living solely for social ideals or the expectations of others, but want to find their own personal passion and mission. Jung called this entering a higher stage of maturity, where people are not just tools of society, but subjects in their own lives. The individuation process is not just about self-development, but reordering the soul. Jung believed that to achieve harmony, each individual needs to recognize and balance the opposing elements within themselves, such as between reason and emotion, assertiveness and passivity, or their dark and light sides. This process requires acceptance, patience, and a non-judgmental attitude toward oneself. When we achieve this harmony, We are no longer controlled by inner conflicts or dissatisfaction. Instead, we live a harmonious life where inner conflicts are no longer things to be fought or avoided, but parts of completeness. Ultimately, the individuation process is a journey without a final destination, but a continuous process of self-discovery, harmony, and completion. This is the path that helps people become themselves, not a specific product or result. In this journey, we will face many challenges, but those challenges will help us grow and find meaning in life. Jung did not just provide a theoretical system of psychology, but also pointed out a path for us to live fully, true to our nature and mission. It is in this process that individuation becomes a sacred journey where each person can find inner completion and absolute harmony between the external and internal worlds. How to start living truly from age 40. To truly begin living a meaningful and harmonious life from age 40 onwards, you need to actively change your perspective on life and practice self-awareness. This is a time you can start taking deeper steps to develop yourself, live authentically, and find true meaning in life. Here are some suggestions. The first step to living truly is to stop and reflect on what is important to you. You can start asking yourself deep questions. What truly brings me joy? How do I want to live? What are my real goals? Sometimes we are so busy with daily life and social expectations that we forget to seek a deeper purpose. Find time to reflect on your life, relationships, work, and the passions you truly want to pursue. True spiritual growth comes when you learn to love and accept yourself, even when imperfect. Jung emphasized that the individuation process cannot occur if you continue to deny the dark or weak aspects within yourself. Accepting mistakes, failures, fears, or unfulfilled ambitions is a necessary step to find inner harmony. Each time you confront the shadow within yourself, you will grow stronger and closer to your true self. Mindfulness is a powerful tool to return to the present moment and face your emotions and thoughts without judgment. Meditation exercises, journaling, or simply spending quiet time to reflect can help you understand yourself better. Jung believed that when we can look inward honestly, we will recognize the undiscovered parts of ourselves. This practice helps enhance self-awareness and creates clarity in life decisions and choices. With age and experience, you may begin to realize that material achievements like money, fame, or social standards are no longer the primary source of lasting happiness. The way to live truly from age 40 is to shift focus towards spiritual values, such as inner freedom, genuine connection with others, and self-completion. Instead of just focusing on short-term goals, start seeking deeper values, activities that make you feel meaningful, relationships that nurture your soul, and growth in every step. Age 40 is a time when you can learn to accept change and live flexibly. Don't see change as something scary or a failure, but view it as an opportunity for renewal and deeper development. You don't need to have all the answers immediately, but accepting uncertainty and being willing to change will help you continue moving forward confidently on your individuation journey. As age increases, many people begin to realize that life is not just about surviving, but about contributing and expressing their true self. Find your personal mission, whether it's working with passion, helping the community, or simply living a kind and ethical life. The journey of finding meaning and a larger purpose in life is not just theory, but a concrete action that helps you feel you are living according to your values. At age 40, you may find that genuine and deep relationships bring more lasting satisfaction than any material achievement. Spend time nurturing your relationships with family, friends, and colleagues. Honest conversations and true care for others will be important factors helping you feel connected and find meaning in life. The transformation at age 40 is not distant. It has been proven by many famous people who have undergone a period of deep self-reflection and development before entering a new chapter in life. One of the clearest and most impressive examples is Steve Jobs, the founder of Apple. In his 30s, Jobs faced one of the biggest shocks in his career when he was fired from the company he founded. This was an incredibly difficult time for Jobs as he had to confront failure and big questions about his goals and self-worth. However, instead of giving up, Jobs spent time reflecting and reshaping himself. He left Apple and began a journey of exploring new fields, investing in technology and art, founding Next and Pixar, and through that, rediscovering his passion and creativity. When he returned to Apple at age 40, Jobs was no longer just a founder with purely technological ideas. He had become a leader with a deeper vision, not just focusing on products and profit, but on creating revolutionary products with true value for users. This is a vivid example how interchange and the process of self-awareness can lead to a strong transformation in career and personal life. Through Jobs' story, we can see that true success does not come from just chasing external achievements, but from inner harmony and the ability to recognize a deeper meaning in work and life. At age 40, Jobs not only reinvented Apple, but also reinvented himself, finding new value and motivation to continue creating groundbreaking products that change the world of technology. Similarly, each of us can find our own turning point. This change can happen at any stage of life, but at age 40, it becomes clearer, and it is a suitable time for us to start living truly, not just for material achievements, but for meaning and spiritual value. When Carl Jung said that life truly begins at 40, he was not just referring to a change in age, but a deep transformation in how we perceive life and ourselves. This is a time for us to break free from external pressures and begin seeking the true meaning of life from within, not just chasing material achievements or social expectations. Regardless of your age, the journey of finding yourself is a long and meaningful one. Do not be afraid to change, explore, and live authentically. Always remember that inner development is the key to achieving harmony and completion in life. If you found the thoughts in today's podcast helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and share to spread these messages to everyone. Subscribe to the channel to not miss upcoming episodes. We also really want to hear your story. Please share in the comments section about your personal experiences in the journey of finding yourself and your changes upon entering age 40. Thank you for listening to today's podcast. See you in the next episodes.